This is Truthful Manipulation, where truth is the truth and reality is made real and clear to understand. I'm Dave Kelsey, and I'm here today with my co-host, H. Daniel Mujahid.
Welcome, dear audience. We thought that for this week's episode, we would kind of reflect on something that my co-host Dave just published an article about manipulation, and really his direction is right on time with what we're experiencing right now here in America, in your living room, in your homes, in your schools, in your churches, in your synagogues. Right here, we have this issue of what do we do when manipulation rules the day? And Dave, give us a little background of what went through your mind to bring you to this article.
Daniel, as I sat and watched things unfold in the world over the course of the last week and saw the way that the news and the government and other governments around the world are all acting right now. And I thought that it would be a good idea, and I wrote an article on LinkedIn that actually got published today, but the article was entitled, What to Do When Manipulation Rules the Day, because we've talked in the past about manipulation affecting every part of society today. But now it feels like manipulation affects every moment of every waking day of our lives. If it's not somebody trying to sell you something by manipulating you to a particular website or a particular place to donate money, these are all manipulations, but I think a lot of people still aren't able to actually see what those manipulations are. So we're going to talk to you today because there's a third option rather than playing the game or getting played, and that's to see clearly, respond ethically, and to protect your peace of mind. And the first thing that you need to do in order to protect your own sanity is pause. Isn't it funny, Daniel, how when people want you to do something and they need you to do it in order for them to benefit, there always comes with an expiration date. Did you ever notice that? Did you ever notice how when somebody says to you, well, this is a one-time offer, and if you don't take this today, you're never going to be able to get this back. Either that or they'll try to guilt you into something. They'll say things like, if you cared, you would. That's what we see across the board, but it's even worse today because the algorithms that the billionaires have wrote that control all of these phones that everybody has with them all the time, and even our government today. Our government is there trying to instill fear in the population. If you don't do this, you'll regret it. If you don't do this, or if you do this, even though it's your legal right, we may kill you. That's where we're at today in society. And they always want you to act with urgency. You have to decide right now. If you don't decide right now, this is going to turn out really bad for you, or blah, blah, blah. But it's always they have to act with urgency.
Yeah.
And then here's the real kicker, Daniel. They'll flatter you because that's a way to get you to do what they want you to do. You've heard this language before. You're the only one that can get that done. And when people start buying that they're the only one, there's a problem. Because I worked over the years with a whole lot of very smart people. But trust me, there was nobody that wasn't replaceable in the end. We found that out. A lot of you know that I spent my career working with Subway. That was a family-owned and operated business until 2015. Fred DeLuca, that owned that company, was a Mensa guy with an IQ off the chart, but also had a lot of common sense, which made him dangerous to competitors. But when he died in 2015, the company didn't just automatically pack up and go away. It wasn't run efficiently like it had been before, but the company went on. And that's the point of, you're not the only one that can handle it. You may have a way of doing things that may get people to an end result faster than what they would have got there on their own. But trust me, you're not irreplaceable. And I like the other thing. Well, the other thing that they do, Daniel, is these tactics that they use is they withhold information from us. And isn't that what you see happening today with news cycles? And you see these people that are in high authority come on within couple hours after something happens, and with authority tell us that this is definitively how this happened, when we can clearly see in other videos that that's not what happened. But what we have is we have partial information and a constant moving of the goalpost. And then they always try this one at the very end of it. Everyone agrees with what I'm saying. Everybody doesn't agree with what you're saying. Most normal people know that you can't find your ass with a tour guide. But yet you stand there and you tell falsehoods because it serves your purpose, because your purpose is to make the public fearful. Your purpose is to try to curtail the outrage that you're causing. And I can truly tell you this. Just because you're at the top of the government doesn't mean that you're not treasonous. And that's what we're seeing today, Daniel. We see people proclaiming that they're something that they're not. They're acting as if they are something when we know what they are. They're actually monsters. They're monsters that are moving against humanity. They're monsters that are moving against Americans. And where the hell is the gun lobby today? You just had one of your own killed. And they tried to say that it was justified because he was carrying a weapon. So does that mean all of us that have our CCWs and carry weapons, are we now all considered domestic terrorists? Daniel, you do realize, you do realize what the Article 2 of the Constitution was actually put there for, don't you? Do you understand why it
Yes,
was
sir.
put there?
Go right ahead.
It was put there
Right.
and gave the American people the right to bear arms against tyranny, both foreign and domestic. And right now, we have domestic tyranny going on, and it's about time that the American public recognizes it. And it's about time those in power that have the ability to do something about it pulled their head out of their asses and actually did what we're paying them to do. You do realize that if you're in Congress and you're in the Senate, you're on our payroll, boys. You're not on the government's payroll. You're not on your own payroll. You work for us. Why are you
Yeah.
not doing what you're supposed to be doing to protect us?
Mm-hmm.
You're protecting a monster. You're protecting people that have no human rights. So now our government is now doing human rights violations against American citizens on American soil, and you all are sitting back and not doing anything about it. Shame on every single one of you. Shame on you.
I think that we have to, in terms of looking at the reality, we have to accept the fact. I know in your article you talk about the things we can do when manipulation is the boss, but I think that the reasons that manipulation is the boss is going to continue, Dave. I don't see Americans stepping down from blind support of a criminal at this point, and they have agreed in their own mind that it's better to go along with this evil activity versus to try to oppose it. I don't know what we can do to get the American people to stand up. I know that No Kings has done a good job of bringing attention to the problem, but in terms of the solution, we are still lacking very much.
Well, the American people are going to have to stand up and do what I said in Article 4, and that's we need to set boundaries without drama. We need to look at these guys today and go, look, I'm open to discussing this without threats or time pressures. But if you're going to threaten me and you're going to put me under time constraints, we're going to have a problem. The other thing we need
Well,
to
that's a
say to
good point. That's a
the
good
other thing
point.
that we need to say to these is we don't respond to ultimatums. Quit drawing lines in the sand that you can't live up to. There are almost 250 million Americans. Do you want them knocking on your door? Do you want us knocking on your door? I don't think you really want that. And this is what we need to remember. If we can talk respectfully, we'll revisit this. But if you're going to treat us like enemies and you're going to talk down to us, we will have no choice but to do what they did 250 years ago. But we won't be standing up to another government. We'll have to be standing up to our own. And that's not where any of us should have to be, because we had checks and balances in place, or at least we used to have checks and balances in place till all the congressmen decide to leave their balls at home and go along with things that they know is principally, fundamentally, morally, ethically, and integrity wrong. But yet,
Well, as your article points out, Dave, even you would expect that at this point in time that the Democratic leadership, the Democratic Party, would step up. But I think that, as your article points out, they falling victim to just explaining themselves away into a corner.
they keep
They,
talking, but they
they're
don't
over
do.
explaining.
They
Yes,
keep talking, but they don't do anything. They keep
yes.
talking, but they don't do anything. There is one thing that the American people can do that will get all of their attentions. They did it for one day in Minneapolis, but we could do this for one day, 5 days, whole month. But if
What is
everybody
that?
in the U.S. stopped buying anything for a couple of days, let's see how they react after that, because that will bring the government to a halt. And when commerce stops, the stock market isn't going to look so pretty. And the people do have the ability to put an end to this nonsense non-violently, but by making sure that they understand we'll take their money away.
That is the one thing that I think does get attention. The money, follow the money, as you said in earlier episodes. And really, with the dilemma of being a divided America, there are values that we have to again reconstitute, if you will, and agree upon that it is reflective of our spirit and the way we see ourselves in living what's called human life. We don't have agreement there now, Dave. We have tended to get into our cubbyholes, and I think we're rationalizing what's going on and rationalizing in a way so that we don't really have to totally really act at all at a time where action is so necessary.
Daniel, the funny part about all of this is normally we would look to our leaders to have the goal to raise the standards.
Yeah.
And in order to raise the standards, you have to do that with clarity. You have to do that with accountability. You have to do it with consistency, respect, and you have to do it with truth. But guess what? Our leaders today, they try to do it by muddying the waters, making nobody accountable, making consistency consistently wrong, having respect for no one, and having no definition of what the truth is. And when are the American people going to stand up and say, enough is enough? When
That sounds so.
when manipulation rules the day, the most powerful move isn't louder. And that's what we've got right now. We've got a lot of people getting louder. We need to do something different that will get their attention. And the only way to do that with this lot is to get in their pocket. And we're going to have to cost them money. The government can shut down in another few days. I ask that all people in power, no, I take that back. It's time that we demand that those in power do their jobs. Quit setting back, not doing what you're supposed to do, and start doing what you need to do. Do it with calm clarity, with consistent boundaries, and a commitment to integrity, and show the world what it means really to be an American, not to be a demented, crazed, imperialistic American government. That's not the American people. Americans, it's time. We've sat back. We've taken this. The world is watching. The world is watching us. Are we going to do what's right? Are we going to sit back and let them take everything that our forefathers fought, died to protect? We need to rethink the way that we use manipulation, and we need to expose the manipulators and hold them accountable. And that's this week's episode of Truthful Manipulation. Please get a hold of us at truthfulmanipulation@gmail.com. Get a copy of our book, Truthful Manipulation. It'll help you recognize these manipulations in your life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at truthfulmanipulation.com. And together, America, we can make a better world together without the manipulators. Have a great week. Thank you very much for listening.